Moving to Vancouver can be dangerous and expensive, but I have some tips to help you find a place cheaply and safely. Hey, hello everybody. There's a chance that my name is Chance, and this is Everything Animation, a channel dedicated to answering every question that you may have about everything animation so that you have the best opportunity of succeeding at your dreams in the animation industry. Today we are talking about rent. The first part, I'm going to be talking about how to not get scammed and my ways around that, and two, how to actually find a place and ways of making that cheaper. If you're looking for a roommate, this is the wrong video to watch. I already have a video on how to find a roommate if you're going to Vancouver Film School, and I will be making a video on how to find a roommate if you're just going to be in the animation industry in general. When looking for rent in Vancouver or the Lower Mainland in general, you need to be very careful. There are a lot of scammers, but I have a few tips on how you can decrease your chances of getting scammed. Number 1, never send money to these people online before you've seen the place yourself and you're actually going to buy it. You do not need to send them an early damage deposit or anything like that. If you haven't seen the place, do not pay for it. Number 2, always check the key that they're giving you and make sure that all of the keys and the fobs and blah blah blah, that they all work before you accept the place and you start to sign. Number 3, if anything about the listing or the person or the location seems sketchy to you, find another place. I promise you, even though it might be an amazing price, it's probably a scam and you will lose a whole bunch of money if you do not be careful with this stuff. So if you're watching this, you're probably an international person or just someone from out of town that can't come to Vancouver to see the listing for yourself. And if that is the case, I pretty much see 2 options for you. Number 1, you can get a family member or a friend to go to the showing for you. Now, not everyone has that opportunity. Not everyone has a person they know in Vancouver. What you could also do is post in an animation Facebook group, hey, I'm looking for a place in Vancouver, but I'm not able to go to my showing. If someone will go to the viewing for me and film it and send me the video, ask these questions, I'll pay you $100 or $50. And that way, you don't need to come and stay at a hotel for $200 a night to go see a viewing. You pay someone else and they can go to the showing for you and take a video, write down any of the defects, ask some questions if you have them, and then they'll be able to send you the video. And that also kills 2 birds with 1 stone, because if you have a video and you end up buying the place, when you're moving out, if they try to say, hey, you made this dent and this scratch and this burn mark, you can say, no, I have video proof that I did not do those things. And so you have that video that you already got sent from the person going to the showing for you. So it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. And that way you can get your whole damage deposit back. Of course, unless you actually did make those dents and the burn marks. Option 2 is that you move to the city early and maybe stay in a hotel or in something like House I, while you go and actually learn about the city, go to the different showings before you actually go and buy a place, because you should go and see the place before you pay for it. In a previous video, I called House I a halfway house, but that is not correct. A halfway house is completely different. What House I is actually kind of in between a hotel and rent. So you pay pretty low, closer to regular rent, but it's almost like a hotel that you stay in, and you pay for it month to month, which I'm not exactly sure how it's such a great deal, but it's a real thing. I've read reviews on it and it seems like a real thing to me. I'll leave a link to it down below in the description. You can stay at House I for a month or in a hotel if you have the money for that, and go and visit the city. Take the Expo line, take the Candle line, take the Millennium line. Find places around where the school is, maybe places where it'll be close to where you want to work in the future. It's just a good idea to come and visit the city for a little bit before you actually live here, because you don't want to be trying to live here and learn about it at the same time. That's really, really stressful. Now at this point, I think we've talked enough about how not to get scammed. Let's finally talk about how to actually find a place and which websites to use and how to find a place cheaper. So if you're looking to move to Canada, you should know that this is BC beside Alberta. This is Vancouver Island, and beside Vancouver Island, this little area squished between the mountains and the border is the Lower Mainland. And in the Lower Mainland, you've got downtown Vancouver, and this is the city. There are 4 sections to Vancouver City. Down here, you've got Yaletown. This corner is fairly expensive. You can find a cheaper place here every so often, but you got to be pretty lucky. The views are beautiful, and they are also costly. This is Gastown, probably the most sketchy area. You can obviously live there, and I lived around this area-ish. It wasn't too bad. At least I wasn't living like right in this area on East Hastings here. This is a extremely sketchy area. And I would suggest not living on that street unless you want to risk getting mugged. Then you have this area here, which is called the West End. And I'd say this is more the residential district and more working class people. So the housing is a bit more affordable in this area. Though it's not as cheap as you can get in Gastown, but it is a lot safer than Gastown. And still for cheaper than Yaletown, Cole Harbour. Cole Harbour is the rich area. This is where you're going to find $6,000 a month houses, sometimes even $11,000 a month places. Every so often, of course, there are exceptions, and good for you if you can live in such a nice area. If you don't want to live downtown, I would suggest living on one of the subway or SkyTrain lines, just because you can get pretty much anywhere from those lines, meeting back up at Waterfront and switching to another line, taking a bus if you have to, but most of the lines will get you where you want to go, at least generally. So, how do you actually find the apartments? Well, I use this, Vancouver Craigslist, and I'll leave a link to all of this stuff down in the description except for Google Maps because that's just silly. How do you find a place? I'm going to assume that you want to live downtown Vancouver just because that makes my life easier and I only need to go through this area here. See, you should be actually choosing it based on proximity of where you're going to be. So if you're on a Vancouver Film School, which I know is right here because I went there, you're probably going to want to find something within this area, at least for walking distance. If you can have a bike, then you can probably go this area and it'll take the same amount of time, but it's dangerous to bike in the city, so maybe you want to find something on the SkyTrain. But anyways, just remember, you should be using this map view to find something in a better area for you for your commute. That's a big deal. Here, this is the West End. There should be a few places that are a lot cheaper here. See, here we go. They got a studio apartment for rent. In Milton, you can see the different pictures. Not too shabby. I mean, it's not gigantic, but it would work for a student. I'm sure you're not going to be at your apartment very much anyways. Everything in Vancouver is very expensive. You can find the odd really good place, and that's what I'm trying to do. Here we go, $1,500. That's a little bit more affordable for not too bad of a place. It has a bathroom and a shower and a kitchen, everything you need to live. So it is kind of expensive to live actually downtown Vancouver, but I just was using that as an example. Personally, if I could do it all over again, I would try to live somewhere maybe around this area, because this is where a lot of Canada Line stops are, just down this Cambie Street. They're just anywhere here. You can get to so many different Canada Line stops on Cambie Street, and it's just a very nice area in my opinion. So I would try to find rent over here if I could. Let's see if we can see. Yeah, that's not going to be super cheap. If you're willing to have a little bit of a walk, sometimes you can find something a bit cheaper, but I'm just happen to find all of these really expensive ones. Vancouver is just insane. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to show you guys that there are cheap ones, but I'm having a hard time finding it. There we go. One bedroom, large one bedroom, 15 grand again, or not 15 grand, but $1,500. That one's not too bad. 2 bedroom, sweet. Hey, there you go. That would actually be a really, really good one. It might not be the nicest of place to live in, and it's not, but that would be pretty fun to live there, I think. But you can have a roommate and split that cost with somebody. So if you can find 2 bedroom, which actually I probably could have just done this. You can go minimum of 2 bedrooms, maximum of 3 bedrooms, let's say. And this way you can find, there we go. You can find places where you'll be able to have a roommate. And these are all super expensive. Can we find something a bit cheaper? Let's see. See, even if you have a roommate and you're paying here near City Hall. See, this is not too bad if that's a real listing. Kind of scares me that there's no pictures. This is one of those that you definitely do not want to send money over the computer. You'd want to actually go see the place. So the next website that I'd suggest using is apartmentrentals.net, and that is if you can't find something on Craigslist or you just want to try something different. You can just look down here and go, oh, more details for all of these places that cost a lot. Oh, here we go. This one's actually not too bad. But where is it? Let's see. Not a terribly ugly place. That doesn't usually matter too much. 2 bedrooms. That is actually very affordable. Especially for 2 bedrooms, because you can split that with a roommate, and that would be very cheap. Let's say that you actually want to live in Vancouver. We can see results here. And what I like about apartmentrentals.net is that they do give you this handy little map. You can zoom in and out, kind of like Craigslist. This one, though, the number corresponds with the stuff down here. So it doesn't actually say how many apartments are in that area. It's literally saying right here is apartment number 22. So if we scroll down to number 22, sorry, no vacancy for September, waiting list only, but you can see the price and everything and get details from here. Or you can just go on the map, click there, and go more details. But I don't like doing that just because then it takes you onto a different website or a different web page, and then you lose the map. So this is also a good way of saying, all right, let's say I want to live near this Olympic Village station. Now, 20. More details. Let's just pretend that I do really want to look into this one. All right, you can look at some pictures here. I believe this is the one I looked at before. And you have a few suites here. So you got 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom townhouse, and a 1 bedroom. So you can join a waiting list, which kind of stinks. Some of them will actually say that there is vacancy instead of sorry, there's no vacancy. And you can read the product description and everything, and you can get the address and plug that into Google Maps if you want to see how long it would take for you to get anywhere. So let's go paste, and we're going to go enter, and then you can go to this little directions button, and let's say that we want to get to a Save on Foods. So it's going to show us, okay, the nearest Save on Foods is a 10-minute walk. That's really not that bad. You could, carry your groceries by hand doing that, and you can definitely walk to the Candeline or, the Candeline Olympic Village or Broadway City Hall, and that, honestly, this would be a pretty good place, especially if you could get a roommate in with you and share the price of this. This place here, it said that there's 2 bedroom, and oh, never mind. That's really expensive. I take it back. Everything but the price is really good on that one. It's close to the Candeline, which is good. It's in a pretty good area, and it's close to a grocery store, which is probably why it is so bloody expensive. Maybe this is not expensive to some people, but there are cheaper places to find rent. And of course, you can actually put in some filters so that you're only getting stuff that you want. Like bedrooms, we can go 2+, update results, and see what is available based on that. I prefer living near the Canada line, which goes down this Cambie Street here. So even something this far away, I could take a little bus. Let's see more details on something like this. And this 2 bedrooms for $1,500. See, not bad at all. We could actually do that one, and it's affordable, not a bad area, and you know what? This would not be a bad place to live. Of course, it's a little walk to the Canada line, but honestly, I'd get my bike, or I'd have a skateboard or something and just skateboard to the SkyTrain and figure it out from there. Now, the next website that I use, if you can't find anything on the other two, is rentbc.com. Now, I don't really like how they have their website set up, but it does work if you need to find a place and you can't find a place anywhere else. So this is kind of silly. I think they meant to have a map here because they're showing this stuff down here, but there's it's called a legend, which is normally for a map, but I don't see any map. So you just scroll down and you can see all the apartments here. So it's kind of annoying that they don't have the map running, but you can see current apartments for rent. Price, this is extremely low. I don't trust that at all. Vancouver, BC, bedrooms 2. Yeah, that seems way too good to be real. There's no places for that cheap in my searches. I've not found a place that with that cheap of rent in Vancouver. So you know what? Maybe it's real. I'd go check it out. Talk to the landlord. If it feels sketchy at all, I wouldn't trust it because that is way too cheap for Vancouver. I might just keep looking. Rented already. This is for $900. Not too bad. Bright bedroom with meals and Canadian. See, this is cool because this is actually a thing you can do. You can live with a family and they'll cook for you, and that's just like part of your rent, and you just live in one of their bedrooms. You get to use their kitchen or whatever, and I think it's called live-in renting. So that is another option if you wanted to do that. Sometimes, you can make friends with them and actually get rides to work or whatever it is. If they happen to be going out that way, and that's pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys got any knowledge out of it, please hit the subscribe button for more. Ask any questions that you want, and I will answer them in a video, and you'll need to subscribe so you actually see that video, and like this video if you liked it, if you want to like it, because I'd really appreciate that. It would help me a lot. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Great luck in finding an apartment to rent in Vancouver at an affordable price. It is possible, and I hope that I helped you guys find the tools to not get scammed and to find a good place for a reasonable price. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to smile. Goodbye.